In an attempt to get over my reading slump, I am still hoarding books, and what can I say? It's helping. I'm finishing books, so might as well continue. So there's a little bit of everything. Let's start with some fantasy and sci-fi. Chain Gang All-Stars. I'm gonna be honest, I would have never purchased this based on the title because what does that mean? But I believe this one is like sci-fi dystopian, and it's a little bit like Gladiator futuristic vibe where people are fighting in order to get their freedom. But I believe this is going to be kind of a social commentary on the private for-profit prison complex in the US. And I just finished, well, it's probably been a few months now, I read a nonfiction on the topic, so I thought this could be interesting to also explore as a topic into a fiction book. So I feel like I've seen this one going around a little bit. I think this was also a nominee in the Goodreads Choice Award of last year, which honestly, there was literally nothing that was tempting me in the fantasy and sci-fi section last year. But a few of you did mention that this one was worth it. So finally got around to finding a copy, so I have it. Hopefully I will get to it soon. Next, I was saying how I've been finishing books, and I needed the third book, the last book in this trilogy. This is The Lotus Empire. This is the third book in the Burning Kingdoms series. And yeah, spoiler alert, I finished book 2. It will be my wrap up soon. But I needed the last book because this series contains some really interesting, complex, morally gray, but mostly very, very ambitious female characters. Like there's at least 3 of them, and it is Indian inspired in terms of the world building. It's heavy on like the religion and magic system being related. There's like 3-ish different religion, and there's just a huge battle at this point because again, the last book in the series, I need to know who's gonna win, what's gonna happen, who's gonna survive, and I'm obsessed with the characters. I need to know. I feel like book 2 is really heavy and the like everyone is fighting everyone, things are getting really tragic because middle book, right? And I need to know there was a little bit of a sapphic romance, and like the struggle is obviously again happening in book 2, so I need to sleep at night. I need to know. So last book, pretty thick fantasy series, like they're 500 pages, but yes, I'm attached to the characters almost more than the actual plot, which I feel like doesn't happen that often for me in terms of fantasy, but yeah, I need to know if they're going to be happy because things are not looking good right now. Okay, the last fantasy that I bought, there was a little bit of a glitch in the Matrix. Like, I don't even really believe in that stuff, but like, I can't explain this, and I thought, why not share with the internet? That way you can be as weirded out about it as I am. So I am in the middle, and by that I mean I finished the first book in the Wheel of Time series, and it's a huge series. It's what, like 14 books or something, and I started book 2 years ago. I read like 50 pages, put it down, and that's when my reading slump in terms of fantasy started, which again, looks like I'm done now. But I've yet to actually continue the series, and I thought, why not get the third book? That way I have it. You know, during the summer, I do like to get the mass market paperbacks just during the summer because I go to the beach, and I feel like I don't want to break these like really thick hardcovers, although I still have to finish book 2, but still, I have 3. It was $1. Okay. That's the whole explanation here. So I bought book 3, which is The Dragon Reborn. Hopefully I will enjoy book 2. So I'll have book 3. But when I got home, I didn't buy this. And like, realistically, when I look at how much I spent, I didn't buy this. I literally cannot explain what happened. How did it get into the bag? How? So for some reason, I have 2 copies of it, and I can't sleep. Like, I'm losing sleep. Do you have an explanation? Because how did I go from 1 to 2? I'm extremely confused. So I will have to keep 1 copy, and I guess one of them, I'm doing my own haul, my yearly own haul very, very soon. So I guess I'll just put this one in there, donate them to little libraries, and yeah, one of them will go there, I guess. But like, how? So yeah, I have 2 copies of book 3. Anyway, so because summer is finally here in Canada, I am starting to read more of anything but fantasy sci-fi. Not that I've read that much so far this year, but that's when I read more contemporary, historical fiction. And during summer, fall, that's when I'm going to start reading more like mystery, thriller, horror. So I'm starting to hoard them. I like to buy most of my books used, right? And I get so overwhelmed in these sections because I don't recognize any titles. And if I don't come prepared and have a list, which again, used bookstore, not really useful to have a list, but I just get really overwhelmed and I don't know what to pick. So sometimes I just pick things that I'm like, okay, it's really popular, I'm going to give it a shot. And it's really hit and miss, but I keep doing it because, again, I don't know what else to do. So I decided to try this one, which is called Still House Lake. It's not too big. I decided I'm going to take the risk. So this woman, I think there's a car accident and she has, you know, the perfect family, the perfect marriage, and there's something that happens and they find out that her husband is actually a serial killer. And he ends up in prison, so she, you know, goes into hiding in the Still Lake house. But things are not over. I don't know if murders are still happening or like stalkers, someone coming for her, and I think she's gonna have to fight for her life. And yeah, and hopefully it will keep me up at night. I feel like that's what I want my thrillers to be, so we'll see what happens. I don't think this is gonna be like a domestic thriller, which I don't really care for those. I feel like this one might be a bit more intense, so we'll see. The next one. I have been pretty lucky with the book club, the popular book club books, and this one has another sticker. I don't even know who Jenna is, but I know I have read a couple of the books from that book club and enjoy them. So we're going to keep going. This is The Names, which I'm pretty sure this is a new release. And I decided to try it because it sounded like it had a hint of maybe not sci-fi, maybe more like speculative fiction. And I'm a big fan. So basically this woman, domestic violence, she is in this marriage and her husband is, you know, well-loved, well-respected in their community. And she gets a chance, I think, to possibly escape. Like she goes into, I was going to say store. She goes to like give the official name for her baby and she has a choice to make. And like you're following her 3 possible futures depending on the choice that she makes. And it's over 35 years. I think one of the options is naming the baby after him and then possible other ones. So 3 possible futures, which I like these kind of topics. So we'll see if I enjoy it with the domestic violence. Enjoying in domestic violence, probably not the best sentence, but I've been speaking French literally 24/7 lately because I haven't been filming at all, but I'm feeling a bit better. We're not gonna, you know, ruin it, but yes, that sounded cool. Wanted to try that. I decided that I hadn't cried in too long, so I decided to try to read some more Frederick Backman. You guys got me. Like, I don't know how many years ago, I was reading all of your saddest book recommendation in 24 hours, and you had a really short story that I wasn't crying yet, the book after I did, but it got me real close, really close. So it's time for me to try him again. I feel like his books they've been a little hit and miss for me. Some of them I've really enjoyed, some of them, I think I'm just really sensitive with these kind of books because sometimes they make me feel, I keep saying like emotionally manipulated, which like, that's kind of the point, right? They're made to make you feel something, but sometimes they're done so well that I don't care. I'm really invested and yes, I will cry. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't get it. So I wanted to try again. This one is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. And I'm pretty sure that was also on your list of recommendations of like the saddest books you have read. So maybe when I feel the need to cry, you know, I'll have that option. And it's not its shortest one. It's like 370. So yeah, maybe we can read it together on the Patreon book club if we all want to cry. We'll see. So I was saying how summer is usually when I start getting more into historical fiction, horror, thrillers. And I think this one might be psychological thriller. This is Come Closer. It's extremely short. It's like 150 pages. There's not really much on the back. It just says there was no reason to assume anything out of the ordinary was going on. Strange noises in the apartment, impulsive behavior, intense dream. Look, things are going weird. Is she going crazy? Are things happening? Spirits? I don't know. I was reading a book kind of with that vibe, and honestly, I didn't like it. So again, I'll talk about it later, but I couldn't finish it. I got really annoyed and I decided to try something that sounded kind of similar. So we'll see if it is or not. Again, it's kind of short, and since I'm finally back to reading these really thick fantasy, it's nice to have something quick and short in between, and it sounds like something that you want to read in like one sitting. So I accidentally read the last sentence. Oh my gosh. I need to just not open the books. So yes, I have it. Now I know how it ends. Speaking of really thick book, yeah, this is The Reformatory, and it has the ugliest cover of the year. I really hate these really badly photoshopped covers. Like, I don't want to be mean, but like, what was the other book I was complaining a lot about the cover? I ended up really liking the book, but it was like a super ugly cover that like I can't Photoshop to save my life. Look at my thumbnails. And this is something that even I can do better. Anyway, the book had a lot of awards in the past. In the back. I'm going to start doing my video in French. We're just going to have to deal with it. So, en arrière, toute la liste des prix qu'il a gagné. All the awards that were won or nominated for. And it sounded interesting. It is historical fiction because it is set in the 50s in the South. Think Jim Crow. And this little boy is sent into the reformatory, which sounds like they're torturing those black kids, to be honest. And the kid sees ghosts. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a mix of like horror in terms of like ghosts, but also horror of like the state of that institution and what's going on there. So I'm interested in seeing how that's going to be. There's a little bit of a shout out by S.A. Cosby, which I have enjoyed one of his books. What was it called? Razorblade Tears? Loved that book. So we're going to try that. I do have 2 nonfiction, which it's so hard to find used bookstores that contain good nonfiction books. They're usually the like 10 most popular ones that you see every 5 seconds. So finding some that are appealing to me, difficult. The first one caught my eye. It is called Ejaculate Responsibly, a whole new way to think about abortion. Yeah, that obviously caught my eye. To be fair, actually the whole colors caught my eye first, but it reminded me, I think I read, is it an article or an essay on that exact topic, the fact that every unwanted pregnancy is caused by someone, you know? So I feel like it's really interesting to look at certain topic from a different perspective. Like we tend to put all the responsibility on women, you know, but to be fair, they're the ones getting pregnant, fine. But you can't get pregnant without someone irresponsibly. I'm scared of YouTube flagging this video. I'm trying to choose my words a little here, but you know what I mean? So I thought, you know what? Yeah, I want to read more on the topic. So I saw this one, I picked it up. It's 126 pages. Oh, the list of the arguments is at the end. I'm going to try to zoom you in if it focuses. I think it's an important topic, and right now is also the perfect time to look into it. So, perfect. Second nonfiction that sounded appealing to me that also caught my eye. I feel like I need something colorful for me to actually notice it in the sea of used books, but this one is a topic I'm also super into. This is Walkable City, How Downtown Can Save America One Step at a Time. So I'm Canadian, not American, but I think it's a topic that is equally relevant in Canada. I feel like we don't really have that many walkable cities. Like Montreal is the one that I can think of. I suppose like downtown Toronto or maybe like Vancouver, whatever, probably some more might also work. But in general, we don't really have walkable cities, and I wish it were an option. And I don't know if I really want to open that door on the internet. We're going to hope this is a book channel. You know, people should be more reasonable, but people freaking out about like 15-minute whatever cities, whatever they call it. That sounds like my dream. I wish I could live somewhere that I could walk everywhere that I need to in 15 minutes. During the winter, maybe less fun, but that would be amazing. So I wanted to read more on the topic. I saw it. I thought this is a sign I need to. And I'm assuming that, again, Canada, US are probably very similar in terms of the reasoning behind why it's not walkable. And hopefully we can learn from Europe. So that's that. That sounded cool. And last but not least, I had done a video where I was talking about translated books and how I wanted to try to read more, and I hadn't read that many that were from South America, just in general, and I saw this one, and I think you guys tend to, probably not just that, but I feel like I tend to associate South America with more like magical realism, which has been really hit and miss for me, but I decided to give this one a shot. It's pink, so of course that appealed to me, but I looked what it wasn't. But I did check what it was about, and that sounded cool. But this is By Night in Chile. Hopefully I pronounced that okay. But I believe this one is like a stream of consciousness. The main character, I think, is a priest and a poet, and he is feverish. I think he's dying, and he's kind of having these flashbacks of his life, which I think sounds a little bit, again, magical realism. I feel like I really associate South America, or the really popular authors. Obviously, feel free to leave me more recommendations in the comments, but I thought that was fun that I found something at, it was a different used bookstore, but still finding something. I feel like I love buying used books. The only thing is you're really limited in what you're going to find, right? It has to be something that someone bought here and left at a store here, but that was different, and it feels it feels nice. So out of the books that I bought, I'm really excited about these two nonfictions, which again, it can be so hard to find something that isn't like self-help. I'm excited to try this one. If you have read it, I'm sure someone has read it. Probably a lot of you. Please confirm that it's going to be good. If it's not good, you can still tell me, but I need to know. I'm still weirded out by this. Like, it's making me uncomfortable to have the two copies in my house. And I need to continue. Like, I feel like I need to, right? Because I am doing so good at continuing series. I need to actually finish them. And this one, I really want to compare the social commentary that might be in here compared to the nonfiction. Because again, I feel like 2-3 years ago, I knew absolutely nothing about the prison system. And I've been learning a lot more. So I think that's it in terms of the books that I purchased. Was there something else? I did get a few more arcs, which I don't know what's going on. I keep being told yes. Did I tell you that I got Among the Burning Flowers? That is going to be one of the next ones that I do read. I also got The Keeper of Magical Things, which I'm excited. That seems to be more like a cozy fantasy. And I feel like I read a ton the last 2 years and then nothing this year. And during the summer, again, I want to go back to being cozy. And I'm going to wait until I have my copy, okay? Because I won't believe it until I actually own it, but I might get my hands on the arc of The Strength of a Few. I'll talk about it when it actually happens but yeah, I think that's it in terms of arcs. So yeah, I got a few books. I think we did pretty good. I'm currently filming my next Read It or Haul It, and I can't wait to actually show you what's gonna happen. And yeah, if there's anything on here you think I should prioritize, please tell me. And I will be seeing you in that vlog very soon. It's going well. It's going well. So I'll see you then. Bye. I'm just gonna show you. That's it. What book is it?